Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday, April 22nd episode of Pete's Power Plays, hosted by the one, the only, King of the Ice himself, Philly Pete, and we are live on 12 Ounce Sports Network and Zingo TV. This show, as usual, is sponsored by MyBookie. Make sure when signing up for an account for MyBookie, make sure you use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports. That is 12OZ Sports, all one word. You'll be ready to go when it comes to Nicaragua betting for soccer. A lot of soccer games, like I said, soccer is gonna be up and coming very soon. Like I mentioned on the show yesterday, we have Bundesliga. Those that love Germany soccer betting, me included. I love German soccer. I think it's a great league. Bundesliga May 9th is going to come back into the world. Of course, no fans. Also, La Liga is supposed to make a return in early June as well. I think they were mentioning June 9th as a return, or June 6th as a return for La Liga. And then lastly, this should be a great news for everybody that loves the Champions League. Champions League is going to be resuming in August, from what I've been hearing from multiple sources. So Bundesliga May 9th, La Liga, Spanish League, June 6th, I believe, and Champions League to resume in August. So stay tuned. MyBookie will be up and running in those terms 100% sure. So get that money saved and be on the lookout for that. Also, we all know MyBookie is basically tons of action, like I said, to get the fun over it. Again, and esports as well, overseas baseball. If you love the baseball thing overseas, again, 12 mybookie.ag. It has you covered. Again, use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports when making a deposit. Also, they'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. So you don't feel like watching baseball at 2 o'clock in the morning? MyBookie has you covered with an online casino to scratch that itch. Like I said, blackjack, roulette, 3-card poker, whatever you name it, backgammon, if they even have that, it's the way to go. So again, mybookie.ag, use the promo code 12 Ounce Sports, all one word, like I said, and let's cash out today. Also, SeatGiant as well. Again, I'm not sure when we're going to have fans back in the stadiums, but when this does happen, please make sure you check out SeatGiant when it comes to the first row of sports that you want to take the wife or family out to for a game. Also, if you're looking to freshen up your look for the summer, you have to check out 12 Ounce Sports' new line of clothing. We got everything from shirts and sweaters to beach towels and phone cases. Find the store online today, 12OunceSportsRadio.com, under our store tab. There you'll find a wide variety of clothing items, colors, sizes that suits your style. You guys are going to be looking like Ric Flair when you cash out on all of these plays and buying some of our clothing that we have out there in the 12 Ounce Sports Radio shop. And yes, like I said, that's 12OunceSportsRadio.com under the Our Store tab. You want to look fresh like Ric Flair, I'm telling you right now. Woo! Anyway, and last but not least, Zingo TV. Make sure when signing up for an account with Zingo TV, first off, if you want to stream all these fabulous shows that we have for you on the network at 12 Ounce Sports, make sure you use the promo code 12 Ounce, 12OZ, all one word, and all you ladies and gentlemen out there could be streaming all these, like I said, phenomenal shows that we could put out for you on our 12 Ounce Sports Network to keep you entertained and happy and joyful the way that we're supposed to be doing during this pandemic that we have going on. So thank you again for all those ladies and gentlemen out there tuning in worldwide and tuning into the Wednesday episode of Pete's Power Plays. And here we go. Yesterday we spoke about Tiger King. I had Gina come on board. We spoke a little bit about Tiger King, how we binge watched it, and how crazy of a lifestyle that is for Mr. Joe Exotic. And stay tuned for a possible Halloween costume that I will be wearing as Mr. Joe Exotic. So stay tuned for that. It was a great show yesterday. But again, today's Wednesday. The draft starts tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Also, those that are out there tuning in and those that follow me on the Twitter, I will be hosting the Friday second round and third round of the NFL Draft. And co-hosting with me will be none other than Aaron from Vegas Squares Radio out there in Las Vegas. So shout out to Aaron, to my boy out there. We will be rocking and rolling on Friday at 6:45 p.m. To start the second and third rounds of the NFL Draft. And I can't wait. And I'm sure he's just as excited as I am as well. So it will be a rock and roll show for sure. I hope everyone tunes in. It is going to be fire. So Here we go. Wednesday. A lot to talk about. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to talk about. I will have Gina back on board for tomorrow. We're going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk about in the first segment about The Last Dance, the first two episodes. Like I said, I'm a huge Jordan fan. I've always been a huge Jordan fan. Basically, ever since he came into North Carolina, that's why I'm a huge Tar Heels fan, because you could thank Mr. Jordan himself for making me love the baby blue and white. So Jordan will always be the GOAT. Those that haven't really seen him, haven't seen him play back in the day. Those that were born in the late '90s that haven't really seen him play. The guys were still 1 or 2 years old, had no idea what the sport of basketball was all about. Will definitely appreciate The Last Dance and what you truly missed growing up compared to what I was, because I was 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old. And like I said, I've been following the Bulls since I was a young kid, and that's why all these kids, all the kids my age in our 30s now, we love the Bulls simply because of Michael Jordan. So there you have it. I have Jordan attire everywhere, signed Jordan jerseys. I have Jordan shoes. I'm a huge hardcore Jordan fan ever since his Tar Heel days with that baby blue and white. So that'll be a first segment on the show. Second segment on the show, we'll be talking about Westworld Season 3. We have 2 episodes left, and I know most of you out there reach out to me in regards to see if we're going to have another Westworld talk. Yes, we will. So we're going to just basically talk about that for the second segment of the show, and Gina will be back on for that second segment as well to discuss about Westworld Season 3. So here we are. We are live. It's a beautiful day today in the Philly area, South Jersey area, about 55 degrees. It's sunny, finally, something good. But draft is tomorrow. What to expect? First and foremost, I want to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and what we're going to do with the selection at the 21st pick overall. I think that, like I said, I discussed about this last night. Those that tuned in to Captain Lou's Extravaganza last night, I was on there live from 9 to about 9:45 my time in the East Coast. I discussed who I thought the Eagles were going to pick, and I'm going to discuss it again today. Be on the lookout for a possible move up for the Eagles in the draft. I know they're targeting Ruggs more than anything. However, I think he's going to go a couple slots before, maybe in the 15th slot to Denver. I think Denver's going to snag Ruggs at 15, a little too late for the Eagles. So I think if Eagles want a top 3 receiver, they're going to have to basically give up their 21st, obviously, and maybe a player acquisition as well. But I think when everything's said and done here, if they were to stay at the 21st pick here, I think you're looking at Mr. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU. He's a big boy. We all know that he is, he was on the LSU squad that won the national championship with Joe Burrow. He's 6'1", 202 pounds. This guy has everything that you need. He's a fast kid. He is elite. He can catch the ball. We know that for sure. Between Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, and Nelson Aguilar, like I mentioned on last night's show with Lou, shout out to Lou. Thank you again for having me on the show. Much appreciated. I look forward to our future conversations. Alshon, Deshaun, and Nelson Aguilar last year missed a combined of 24 games last year, which is unbelievable. Deshaun went down after week 2. He was done for the rest of the season, so that was tough. Alshon had an injury as well. He was out for a few games, and Nelson as well. Mr. Uncatchable. We know how he is, but again, like I said, it all reverts back to the 24 games that they missed combined last year. So Mr. Carson Wentz had to throw to Ertz a lot. You had Greg Ward step up big time, especially in that final 4-game run that we had on to get into the playoffs and lock the NFC East division crown there over Dallas. So Greg Ward came up huge, and it's a shame because that's all we really had. Miles Sanders came up big in the run game for us this season as well. Unfortunately, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, very, very, he underwhelmed as a rookie, and I'm not really sure how he will be this year. I was hoping we saw a lot of him last year, but clearly we did not work out. But we have to let him ease into the game, and hopefully this is the season where he comes loose and helps us out a little bit. He's a big guy, a big red zone guy. You got to throw him the ball; he will catch it. And we also have Dallas Goedert as well, so another great tight end that's going to be up and coming for the Eagles in the future. However, we know Nelson Aguilar is now a Vegas Raider. We know that. Deshaun is one ACL or hip injury away from missing yet another season and probably the rest of his career, unfortunately. And Alshon Jeffrey is just basically a broken piece of glass. He's so fragile, but he had his share here with the Eagles, and I appreciate what he's done for the team. But now, to me, it's just that we need, like I said, we need Arcega-Whiteside to come up huge for us this season. Very underwhelming season as a rookie, so we'll see what we have in store for a second season. But Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, 6'1" kid out of LSU, obviously played right next to Joe Burrow. Outstanding ball skills. He ran a much faster than expected 40-yard dash. I was shocked. I was thinking somewhere in like the 4.5s, but this kid ran a 4.43, which is phenomenal. And it's exactly what we need for a speedy receiver, and that's what we need. Obviously, coming off of a prolific season. I can't stress this enough. 111 receptions, over 1,500 yards receiving, and 18 touchdowns for LSU as they were crowned the national champions of this past season. So he fits our need. I love everything about this kid. He's going to be a speedster. He can catch. We know Carson could get the ball out, and I think this is the perfect fit for Philadelphia. But also, don't stress out the fact that we can possibly move up to get Henry Ruggs. I think he's going to be a top 15 receiver. We know, Jerry Jeudy is going to be gone. We know CeeDee Lamb's going to be gone, and Ruggs is going to be that questionable third receiver if the Eagles could possibly move up or not. I just don't think he's going to be there at 21. That's why I am landing Justin Jefferson for the Philadelphia Eagles. So I want to go over real quick. I've heard a lot of roarings. Obviously, let's start out with the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a no-brainer for me. Joe Burrow is the clear consensus number 1 overall pick. Again, as I discussed last night, those that didn't tune in to Lou's show, I mentioned that you have AJ Green returning. They kept the franchise tag on him, and you have Joe Mixon in the backfield as well to help out the fact he had somewhat of a down season last year, but I expect Joe Mixon to come back in full force this year. So this is going to be a nice team this season, I think, in Cincinnati. Not the playoff team to be expected, obviously, but they did a lot in the offseason. They upped up their defense big time. They grabbed great cornerbacks. This might be a surprising team. Who knows? And we don't know what the AFC is going to be about when you have Cincinnati, you have Pittsburgh, you have Baltimore. We know Baltimore's going to be a clear-cut winner or clear-cut team to win that division again. But the Bengals, we'll see. I mean, I'll give them a benefit, maybe give them 6 wins this year. I'll be shocked if they win anything more than 6 and they go 7-9. But I think 6-10 is pretty ideal, especially for a rookie quarterback who I think is going to be amazing. And he's 23 years old, so he has that experience already, and he's ready to get plugged in big time. So Joe Burrow, obviously number 1. Washington, here we go at 2. I think Chase Young, obviously, is the consensus number 2. The best edge player in the draft, obviously, from the Ohio State Buckeyes. Boo. I'm just kidding. Anyway, everyone knows I'm a Penn State guy. I went to Penn State. I bleed navy blue and white. Class of 2009, represent, go Lions. Anyway, this guy, if Washington does not trade out, they are taking Chase Young. It's so obvious. I've been hearing rumbles that Trent Williams is to be involved in a trade. I've been hearing rumbles about Miami and maybe the Chargers possibly moving up to number 2 to trade with Washington. I think that Trent Williams is going to be part of a trade as well if they were to swap out of that position. So we know Trent Williams is now available for trade. So those that are looking for a great offensive lineman, you got a good lineman in Trent Williams. So we'll see what happens. I just don't see Washington moving out. I think if any team here, it's going to be the Detroit Lions. Right now, I think they're going to get Okudah, the cornerback out of Ohio State. Again, you have back-to-back Ohio State players. They are great when it comes to defense. We know their history in the NFL when it comes to defense. Joey Bosa, just to name a guy, just to name one, and and Nick Bosa as well. So you have phenomenal players out of Ohio State that will provide the true aggression of defense for the specific team that they land on. So Jeff Okudah, I think Detroit, like I said, they lost Slay. Slay came to my boys, came to Philly. And I think that they did sign Desmond Trufant for a 2-year deal. Can't forget that, Detroit fans. They did get Desmond Trufant from Atlanta. That's a great pickup. However, you need somebody on the other side of him. Obviously, Slay is to Philly now. That's going to cause some issues there. However, the Giants at 4 don't need a cornerback. To me, I think they're going to take a linebacker. I think that's more of a need for them. I know they've been talking to Justin Herbert in regards, but that's just a smokescreen. I think that's basically for any team that is to trade with the Giants. I just think it's full of crap. It's such a smokescreen per the Giants reporters. And, they're not going to take a Okudah whatsoever. So I think Detroit, even if they were to trade down to 5 to Miami or even 6 to the Chargers, I still think they'd take Okudah regardless. So if they're at 3, they take Okudah. Even if they're at 5 and 6, they take Okudah as well. So this just fits their need. Detroit needs another cornerback to match up with Desmond Trufant, and I think Jeff Okudah is the way to go for Detroit. So you Detroit fans should be very, very happy with this situation here, and just expect a very, very, very nice addition to that secondary this upcoming season. New York Giants, like I said, they need more linebacker help than anything, I believe. And to me, I just think that the right call here is a couple resources have different players here, but I like they could go either way. They could go offensive line help for Daniel Jones, or they can go defense. And to me, obviously, defense always wins your championships. And honestly, I think Isaiah Simmons, linebacker out of Clemson, we know what he did last season. Absolute monster. I think Dave Gettleman, the Giants guy, GM, doesn't basically use this pick on his choice of a quote unquote like a hog molly, but the Giants could use an impact player, like I said, with this guy in Simmons. I think this is what he needs. This could definitely spark up that Giants defense. Basically, he was a converted safety. So he went from a safety to a linebacker, gained some weight just to fill that linebacker position. And at the end of the day, he won the Butkus Award for the nation's top collegiate linebacker. And like I said, he is a defensive chess piece. He can line up everywhere. You put him at DN, he'll be at DN. You put him a linebacker, put him at linebacker. Hell, if you want him to go back to safety and cut some weight, by all means, he can play anywhere in the defensive guy on the defensive end. This is why, to me, Isaiah Simmons is the way to go for the Giants here. So all you Giants fans out there should be very, very proud if they were to select Simmons at the 4th overall pick. Another guy to note is Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle from Iowa, who could definitely protect DJ and open holes for my boy Saquon Barkley. So, again, you have another Big Ten guy, Saquon running behind you. This also could be a nice work of art if they were to draft an offensive tackle. That's just a side note for me. But I think Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson is the way to go for the Giants. And then here you are. You had the Miami Dolphins sitting at 5. I, however, made a bet. I made a prop bet. I should have mentioned this to you guys last week or 2 weeks ago when it was hot. Justin Herbert under 5.5 as to where he will be selected was at plus 175. I laid $100 on it to pay out $175, and since then the under 5.5 went down to minus 125 currently. So what a huge swing in that prop bet. I'm loving where I'm at right now. I could get a highly positive money out of this with losing no juice whatsoever. But I knew this from the start. Justin Herbert, to me, like I said, my top 3 quarterbacks that I think that could be elite in the future in the next 10 years is definitely Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Tua. Tua just scares me with his injury. I know he's a young kid. He can heal, and we know what he can do. I compare him to Michael Vick, just not only for his mobility and his accuracy, but like I said, when he can make that big help, that big fly pass that Mike Vick can do, people come back and relate to that Mike Vick game against the Washington Redskins when he was on the Eagles throwing that 60-yard bomb to Deshaun Jackson to open up the game. Every Philly fan remembers that, and I could see a lot of that in Tua. But I won't believe it until he actually throws his first bomb in the NFL. So could be a potential Mike Vick in the future for Tua, but we'll see. His injury obviously scares me, but to me, I think Justin Herbert is the way to go as the second overall quarterback here, and that's why I think the Miami Dolphins take Justin Herbert with the 5th pick. Of course, if they don't move up to Detroit's spot at 3, because either way, Miami or LA Chargers will move up and take a quarterback of their need. So again, I love where my prop bet is, and I do think that Miami here just takes Herbert over Tua. And to me, the Dolphins just like the quote-unquote medicals of Herbert compared to Tua. Herbert's just older, and they just Miami's more concerned about his health. To be honest, here per Miami sources down there in Florida, Herbert's he needs to be more consistent, however, and but all across the board, he has the size, he has the arm, he has the strength, he also can move, and he's highly, highly intelligent. So. Meanwhile, if anyone recalls, the Senior Bowl, Jim Nagy, he called concerns about Herbert's quiet leadership style like a false narrative. He's an Oregon kid, he's a quiet kid, but as I mentioned earlier and last night, I did say that he has probably, if not the best charisma than any other NFL starting quarterbacks that we've seen around. So I just truly think that with the seniority that Herbert has and staying the extra year that he did in Oregon, to me, I love when kids stay that extra year. It's just so beneficial. And yes, you're taking a risk of possibly getting hurt your senior year. But listen, if I was a college kid, I would stay for 4 years. But again, it also depends on if you're that lottery pick, like when it comes to the NBA, if you're a top, 10 pick, in the NFL draft. Herbert, even though last year would have been probably a top 5 pick, he still managed to stay in Oregon, put up relatively great numbers again. And go to a Rose Bowl game and take care of business. And here he is again, another a top 3 quarterback, probably a top 5 pick as well. So to me, I think Miami here takes the safe route because of issues with Tua. I think Miami takes Herbert at number 5 overall. Chargers at 6. I mean, no further ado than you're taking Tua here. I just think it's just a driver's seat situation for the Chargers. It's like a layup drill, basically. Miami takes their one quarterback. Well, listen, you're guaranteed the other quarterback regardless. So one way or another, they're guaranteed Herbert or Tua. Simple as that. And the Chargers, no Phillip Rivers. They have Tyrod Taylor, who's meh. He's meh. He can run. He's just okay. Easton Stick. Sorry, but he's not the next Carson Wentz, unfortunately. And I just think that, that's the only 2 quarterbacks they have. So to me, this is just a simple, obvious pick here. I think they're going to take Tua here with the 6th overall pick. If not, obviously Herbert. So either way, it's a layup drill for the Chargers here. And again, when healthy, Tua can, like I said, he has that Mike Vick look-alike and basically the calisthenics that Vick has. Quick release, elite accuracy, anticipation, all the intangibles and leadership to develop into the franchise quarterback that he can be in LA and basically make LA better again. So we'll see what happens in LA, but I think that is the call there in Los Angeles. A couple rundowns real quick. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of offensive linemen being picked here. On a side note, I think you're going to be seeing Jedrick Wills, offensive tackle from Bama, or Derek Brown, inside defensive lineman from Auburn, go to Carolina at 7 if they don't trade back either. I know they're looking at both offensively, obviously, for Mr. CMC himself, but Christian McCaffrey to me is like a Saquon. They can make plays without blocking. They can catch the ball. They got the jukes. They got the speed. They don't need much help in the open field because they catch the ball in open field, you're gone. Cornerback or not, if you're the quickest team on the defensive side, good luck catching them because you can't, So I just think either way, they'll be satisfied with a Jedrick Wills from Bama or Derek Brown on the inside D lineman from Auburn. Either way, they'll be satisfied here. Arizona Cardinals as well. Again, this is where you got to build a line for Kyler. You got to build a line for Kenyon Drake as well. And with the addition to DeAndre Hopkins, I think the offensive line needs is what the Cardinals need as well to basically give him that extra hump, basically to develop Kyler Murray. We know how Kyler Murray is. He had a great rookie year last year. I think he has a lot to offer for Arizona. Now you have your receiver of the future, and you have the veteran help still of Larry Fitzgerald. So between Fitz and D Hop, this Arizona team could be a little under the radar of a team this year. We know, and word on the street is that Christian Kirk is reportedly in talks with Dallas Cowboys. So be on the lookout for a possible trade between Dallas and Arizona at some point involving Christian Kirk and possibly some draft picks as well for this year. Stay tuned to that. It's a shame because I really did like Kirk, and just didn't really pan out to who he should be. Just kind of like OJ Howard. Speaking of, I'm gonna wrap up the top 10 real quick. But those, ladies and gentlemen out there, I will be jotting down all the first round picks. I will be giving out. I will be tweeting out a Philly Pete top 10 for the NFL draft as to who I think is going to happen on Thursday night. But to me, Jacksonville Jaguars, they just released Marquise Lee, and a lot of resources here have them taking basically some sort of lineman. Again, defensive line help. Basically they declined Marcel. Obviously, they got rid of Darius's option. Calais Campbell's. They're both out. And Yannick is going to be on the move. So they're going to be needing help in the defensive line area, linebacker, somewhere in the defensive line area. But I think Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina makes a lot of sense here for Jacksonville if they go the defensive route, just because, again, this is where we could see Yannick on the move. Again, Jacksonville could be potentially maybe trading down if they keep the pick at 9 and they take Kinlaw or some sort of defensive lineman or a linebacker or an edge guy. This is when we know that Yannick is going to be on the move, and a lot of talk is Yannick is going to be going to Philadelphia. You heard it here first. If he doesn't, don't come to me because, I just think out of all the sources, all my Philly sources that I have are leaning that Yannick is coming to Philadelphia. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, but that would be simply phenomenal if he is a future Eagle. Time will tell, and like I said, what better way to do it than the NFL draft on Thursday night? So great news for Yannick. Jacksonville could go the defensive route, or my sleeper here for Jacksonville. And everyone's going to be like, what, why do you think so? Look out for CeeDee Lamb, receiver out of Oklahoma, or Jerry Jeudy. One of those top receivers to get off the board going to Jacksonville because of Marquise Lee's departure. DJ Shark you still have, and you still have Chris Conley as well. But I think if you have CeeDee Lamb, it has all the potential you need basically for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I just think, especially for helping out Gardner Minshew as well behind the center. So this could be a very, very stacked receiving core for the Jaguars if they pan out that way. A lot of people are saying that they're going to be tanking this year to get Trevor Lawrence with the first pick. I don't know, but they could go a couple different ways here. And especially that they're trying to dump everybody. They're trying to dump Fournette. They're trying to get rid of Fournette. They're trying to get rid of Yannick. They lost Calais Campbell and Darius. However, this could be a start of something brand new for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what way to be a dark horse pick here than take CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Jeudy off the board as a top 10 receiver. Want the first receiver gone. And who knows? Next year, they might have the first pick, not even win 2 games, and then take Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick. Then you're going to have a pretty solid young Jacksonville Jaguar team for the future. So, again, I don't think it's going to happen, but just look out for a possible receiver pick there for Jacksonville. But to me, all signs are basically probably a defensive player to me, and I think Javon Kinlaw fits those needs for Jacksonville. And lastly, Cleveland Browns at number 10. Again, I did mention Tristan Wirfs to the Giants at number 4 as a side note, even though I love that they will take that Clemson linebacker, Simmons. But Tristan Wirfs from Iowa, I think, fits the needs for the Browns. The Browns did sign Jack Conklin to a 3-year deal from the Titans in free agency, but again, there's still a huge need at left tackle. And in order for Baker to stay in the pocket for more than a couple seconds, I just think that this true freshman could start at tackle, or the first true freshman, I should say. He started at tackle during the Kirk Ferentz era at Iowa. So he's been starting since his freshman year. He has the build and the ability to just plug and play and right away for the Cleveland Browns. So I think this will help out big time. He's a freak athlete, like I said. I've seen him when they played Penn State, obviously, back in October, early October, and he's a freak of nature, this guy. And for his size and his versatility to play either tackle spot, either way is necessary for him. But I think to match up with Jack Conklin on the other side for the Browns, I think this fits their needs big time. And and another one to mention too is Andrew Thomas from Georgia. Again, the Browns could go linebacker as well, but I just think offensive tackle is the need here to protect Baker, like I said. So I think Andrew Thomas is something to look at, or Tristan Wirfs out of Iowa. So we'll see what happens. But that basically concludes my top 10 who I think will happen. I also will write this down and send this out to the Twitterverse out there so you know who Philly Pete is projecting at the top 10 as my predictions here. Be on the lookout for that prop bet that I mentioned too. I will post that out as well. This play was 2 weeks ago as well. So, and since then the line has changed dramatically. But unfortunately, that concludes the Wednesday, April 22nd episode. Happy Earth Day, y'all, too, by the way. Happy Earth Day. Earth is amazing. Let's keep it clean. Let's stay quarantined. If you go out, keep that 6 feet from each other, and let's stay safe. And soon enough, we'll get back into the action and watch sports again. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow to talk about The Last Dance and the current Westworld season. And that is it. Hope everyone has a fantastic Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow, and I'm out. Later.